Hi, welcome back to my story time with Nana. I have a whole new story for you, a whole new grandpa story. I hope you enjoy this story as much as I enjoyed writing it. I can't wait. Let's begin. A day with Grandpa Frank. Little Ava was on her way to Grandad and Nana's house. She was spending the weekend with them. She loved going to their house. They had a bedroom fixed up just for her and a room full of toys. But her most favorite thing at their house was Grandad Frank. She loved Nana too, but oh, her granddad was just about the best ever, even better than chocolate chip cookies. And she loved chocolate chip cookies. Now, Ava, you behave, her daddy said, looking over his shoulder to the back seat. Do as you're told, and no wandering off. Yes, Daddy, Ava answered. She knew what he was really telling her. The week before, she had done something really dumb. She told her daddy she was walking to her best friend Avi's house because her mommy was going to make them lunch. Now, Avi only lived 3 houses down from them, so Daddy knew she would be fine. But what happened was Avi was walking up to meet Ava, and they decided to walk around the block first and then go have lunch at Avi's house. Avi wanted to show Ava that there were new neighbors moving in, and she was pretty certain that they had a little girl just about their age. So around the block they went, and sure enough, there were new neighbors moving in, and they did have a little girl, and her name was Ruby. Well, the girls introduced themselves, and one thing led to another, and before you know it, they were playing in Ruby's backyard. Ruby's father was a veterinarian. She had 2 dogs, a cat, a bunny, a guinea pig, 2 hamsters, and a hermit crab. The girls played with all of Ruby's pets, and time just got away from them. Ava forgot that her daddy thought she was going to Avi's house for lunch. About an hour or so later, Ava noticed that she could see her driveway from Ruby's backyard. Imagine her surprise when she saw that there was a police car at her house. So she and Avi said goodbye to their new friend Ruby, promising to visit again, and headed back home to see what was going on. Turns out that Daddy had called the police because Ava wasn't where she was supposed to be. Even Avi's mommy was there, and she wasn't very happy either. I mean, they were pleased that the girls were safe, but they had been scared just the same. So that is what Daddy meant about not wandering off. Daddy pulled into the driveway, and Grandad and Nana were standing at the door waiting for her. Ava jumped from the car, gave her daddy a quick kiss goodbye, and ran to the door with her little backpack. Grandad opened the door and scooped her up. Oh, my little Ava, I'm so happy you're here. Me too, Grandad, she said, hugging him tight. Hi, Nana. She leaned over and gave her Nana a kiss. Come on, you two. I have lunch ready, Nana said. Grandad set Ava down and she plopped her backpack by the stairs and they headed into the kitchen. Nana had made her favorite, Caesar salad. So, I heard there was a bit of a commotion at your house last week, Grandad said to Ava. Yes, there was, she answered. The police came and everything. You didn't tell your daddy where you were going? Avi and me didn't really think about it. I mean, it was just around the block. We didn't think we'd be there that long. I know all about that business of time getting the best of you. But you know better now. You always let your mommy and daddy know where you're going. Did you get a spanking? Oh, no, Granddad, she answered. I just wasn't allowed to go to Avi's for lunch that day. Granddad said. When I was a kid, if we did something wrong, we got a whooping. As a matter of fact, I remember this one time in particular. My brother Mick and I decided to ditch school and go fishing. That means we decided not to go to school and not tell anyone. Now, Mick and I usually walk to school every day, but not this day. The Smith River was calling our names. Now, we knew that ditching school was wrong, but it sure was a pretty day, and well, there was nothing better than fishing on the Smith River on a pretty day, especially in Martinsville, Virginia. That's where I grew up. Good country living. So anyhow, we took some string and a couple of hooks and stuffed them in our pockets and kissed our mama goodbye. I remember her waving and saying as we walked down the street, "Have a good day, boys." Now, I felt a little guilty, but fishing with my brother was just too tempting. We walked to the river and bought some bait, found a couple of good sticks, and made ourselves some fishing rods. It was a great day of fishing, too. We caught a couple of catfish and some carp. It was probably the most fish we ever caught. It seemed as if the fish wanted to get caught. We didn't have a watch, so we had to gauge the time by the sun. We wanted to make sure we got home around the time we would normally get home from school. Well, like you, time got away from us because, like I said, the fish were really biting. After a while, we realized we were going to be late. We needed to get home and get home now. We couldn't bring our fish home because Mama would know we hadn't gone to school. So before going back home, we sold our fish to some of the men that were fishing along the river. We didn't make a lot of money, just enough to really cover the cost of the bait. But we didn't care. We had spent the day fishing instead of going to school. We were almost home, walking up the street like we were coming home from school, when we noticed that there were 2 police cars in our driveway. So we ran across the street and hid in some bushes and waited for the police to leave. They were there for quite some time. We didn't know what the police were doing at our house. We sure didn't know that the school had called Mama and to tell her that we weren't in school. Looking back, I guess Mama got worried and called the police. Anyhow, when the police left, we walked home like normal and pretended to be getting home from school. Well, Mama was having none of that. She knew we hadn't gone to school. Now, I'll spare you the details, but neither Mickey nor I could sit for a couple of days after that. And I'll tell you something else. We never ditched school again. I wonder now if we had just asked Mama if she would let us go fishing. She may have. She loved catfish. We could have had that for dinner. Anyhow, I guess the moral of the story is to always tell the truth. And if your plans change, no matter how small, always let your mommy and daddy know. Wow, Granddad. I'm glad I have my mommy and daddy. I didn't get a whooping for not telling them I was just going around the block. Well, you really didn't do anything wrong, Granddad told her. You just forgot to tell them where you were going. But now you know that's important. I do, Ava said. Hey, I have an idea, Granddad said. Nana, would you mind if Ava and I go fishing after lunch? It's a pretty day out there today. Looks like a good fishing day. Well, I think that sounds like fun, Nana said. Yay! Ava clapped with excitement. She was going fishing with Granddad. Granddad got out the fishing poles and tackle box. We're going fishing, he yelled out to Nana as he and Ava headed out the door. And we promise, no detours. He gave Ava a wink. The end. Well, I hope you enjoyed tonight's story. I enjoyed this story. Please don't forget to share the stories so other children can hear them. And I'll see you again next week with a whole new Grandpa Tale. Mwah.